Recently, Valve has made changes to the M4A4 and the price that comes with it. So today we are going to talk about the differences between the A4 and the A1S when it comes inside of Counter-Strike 2 and understanding which one we should use in which situations inside of this game. But before we get into that, I do have to give you a message from the sponsor of today's video.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code, COJO. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description.
Alright, so let's talk about these two rifles in the game because they play very differently. So for starters, let's go ahead and look at what we can see in the buy menu here. With the new update, the M4A4 now costs $3,000 and the A1S costs $2,900. Now the first thing you need to realize about these two is some of the differences that come with these. So the A4 is not going to have a silencer. It is going to be very loud when we shoot, making it so that enemies can hear you across the map and there's no stealthy, nature to the gun. It's very loud, and this gun is essentially the AK of the CT side. Compare that with the A1S. Obviously this thing has a suppressor and it's going to be very quiet. When you're behind players, it's going to be harder for them to know right away where they're getting shot, and you can have that element of surprise. Now, because of that element of surprise, the downside to using the A1S is there is only 20 bullets per magazine, and it shoots slightly slower than the A4. The A4 shoots a little faster than the A1S, and so with these two, the guns are going to play a little bit differently, right? And with the A4, like I said, 30 bullets. And you might be like, okay, Kojo, it's 10 bullets. That doesn't matter that much. But it really does. So I will say that the A4 is much better when it comes to like crowd control, when people are all around you and you need to get that last kill, right? So say you're on site defending, you're shooting here, you're shooting people all around you, they're swarming you. The A4 having that 10 extra bullets is going to be your best friend because you're not going to have to reload. The amount of times I've seen myself, other players get into like this clutch situation, we're killing people, they're running at us, and then we literally are about to kill somebody and then we have to reload and we die because we had the A1S, right? And you would be saying, well, then why would we ever use the A1S? What is the point of using it, right? So I'm going to give you a little bit of strategy with these two guns now so that you can understand why each is, advantageous to the other. I will say, now that the A4 and the A1S are literally $100 different, I would not base my decision on which one to use based on economy anymore. Before, it used to be like, okay, well, the A4 is $200 more. The A1S is a lot cheaper. I'm just going to use the A1S. So I used to tell oppers, I used to be like, if you're an opper, have the A1S because it's going to allow you to save up your money more and get the op up in, faster in the rounds, right? So now I would say that's not a factor anymore. Now we just need to think about the strategy behind the gun. So with the A1S, it is so much better at long range. Why? Because it shoots slower, so you can, have more time kind of to do the, get these kills. And it is like a laser beam, guys. This gun is so accurate at longer ranges. It shoots slower, and it genuinely is just so accurate, right? And the good thing about the A1S too, it's actually broken. When you're using it, you can see how I'm moving around and it's still really accurate. This gun is like actually broken in the way that you can move around and still be extremely accurate. Because if you don't know, in Counter-Strike, usually when you're moving around, you're very inaccurate. See how like there's bullet spread there? So see how like when I'm moving, it's just like horrible. The A1S is like a laser beam. This gun is so broken. It's literally like, it's insane. So long range, it's really good. If you're a newer player, the A1S is going to be your best friend because of this inaccuracy, part of the gun where it's just like doesn't seem to be inaccurate. And when you're crouching with it, your bullets are literally the most accurate thing ever. I think it's like one of the most accurate rifles. You can fact check me on that. Now, when do we use the A4 though? Why is the A4 good as well? So with those extra bullets, it gives you more opportunity to multi-frag, but also the A4 is just so solid because it shoots faster. If you're going to be playing close range angles, having those faster bullets come out and help you take these fights is going to allow you to multi-frag, to kill people faster, because at the end of the day, you're going to be playing against AKs, And both of these guns cannot one-shot. They have to two-shot in the head to a armored opponent, to a helmeted opponent. So if your enemies are smart and they're buying head armor, those faster bullets that are coming out might make the difference between you getting the frag and you dying. Also, one thing you have to keep in mind with the A4, it's super good in these close range situations because the gun is just much shorter than the A1S. Since the A1S is a long gun, it sticks out, and when you play at different angles, you're risking yourself being exposed with the barrel of your gun, right? So the barrel might be sticking out when you're playing these angles versus when you have an A4, you might be able to get away with tucking yourself in a little more and not being as exposed. So it's just something you don't have to worry about with the gun. Personally, I've been using the A1S for the past year, but I really think that I'm going to start learning how to get better at the A4. The downside to using the A4 is that the spray pattern is much looser than the A1S, right? So I'll show you both of them here. That's the A4, and then this is the A1S. Do you see how much easier the A1S is? It's literally night and day the difference between these two guns, right? So like I said, I think the A4 is definitely the higher skilled weapon. I think, like I said, if you're a newer player, you should be using the A1S. But depending on the situation, the A4 is just super good. So let's talk about loadout slots. So for this video, I put both of them on in here. But generally, if you're a rifler, I would say either get rid of the AUG or the Scout and then have both of the rifles. For me, I think if you're gonna be a solid rifler, just get rid of the Scout and have A1S and A4 so that you have multiple options for it. If you're an opper, put the Scout on. I'd say like use it. It's scoped weapon. Like it'll be good for lower bias situations. But it's kind of just give or take. But for maps like Inferno, the A4 is gonna be your best friend. Very close range, high combat, like close combat situations. For maps like Dust 2, the A1S is probably going to be a better situation for you, especially if you're a long player or, playing ASI or whatever, because taking these long range fights, so good, so easy versus using the A4. It's still good. Don't get me wrong, it's a rifle, but it's just a lot harder to win your fights because, it's inaccurate, a little looser spray pattern, and just not as easy. So the laser beam's going to come in clutch there. But these are kind of the differences between the two guns. At the end of the day, just get good at them, learn the spray pattern. If you have any questions, I go to my twitch.tv/CojoMoCS. I stream pretty much every single weekday. You can ask me questions, see me play live, and check out my action with both of these guns. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Appreciate every single one of you. Let's keep grinding, working hard to make our goals happen. Thank you guys so much. We're getting closer and closer to 20,000 subscribers, so it means so much. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Keep working hard, and thank you all very much.